Hello and a very warm welcome to the 1000 PS channel. My name is Busty Wolter and I am here in Lelystad in the Netherlands at the presentation of the brand new Yamaha crosser, especially the Yamaha YZ450F, because this one received bigger modifications to the engine, the chassis and also to the smartphone app. And I will show you all of that in this video. Enjoy! For the model update of the 450, the main goal was to create controllable power. That means improvements on the engine, the frame, the chassis, the suspension components, and also the option to adjust everything again through the smartphone app. On the engine side, quite a lot has changed. The base remained the same, but the entire intake port was redesigned. It became slightly lower, but also a bit wider. The wall structure has changed, which should result in better performance. The air intake was also optimized, giving a bit more torque, especially in the lower rev range. Next, the engineers worked on the exhaust, especially the muffler. Its position changed slightly, the resonator was redesigned, and the internal structure of the muffler was modified as well. Of course, it now complies with the new and current FIM noise limits. Completely new is the hydraulic clutch, now installed with a handlebar-mounted master cylinder. The clutch basket was also reworked, as well as the basket itself, the pressure plates and the spring tension. All of this is meant to deliver a better and, above all, more consistent clutch feel. Inside the engine there are also some new updates, including improvements for better cooling of the connecting rod, the rod bearings and the rest of the internal components. All of that should, as mentioned, lead to a strong but better controllable power delivery. In other words, a lot of performance that you can manage well and put effectively to the ground. The chassis also saw many changes. The overall base is still the same as last year. New plastic parts were introduced, especially the side number plates. The seat was updated with a special seat cover. Its surface pattern allows you to move forward easily while giving you strong grip when moving backward. That means you will not slide backward so quickly during acceleration. The frame tubes were also revised, especially the front section, where the tube thickness was varied slightly at the top and bottom to optimize flex and give a better front wheel feel. Still installed are KYB suspension components, the fork and the shock absorber. What riders have always appreciated about the KYB suspension is of course still there, but it has been optimized further. The shock received updated settings with changes to the piston size and to the valve holes inside. All of this should provide even better performance. And the third major update can be found in the Power Tuner app. That is the smartphone app that allows you to connect to your bike via Wi-Fi. You can adjust various parameters, set different mappings, do data logging, get tuning tips, and much more. Its functionality has been improved even further. You can now adjust a huge variety of things. There is one completely new feature, the ECU lock. That means you can block the control unit via the app, working as an anti-theft system. If you lock the bike, the engine cannot be started anymore. And when you enter the password again in the app, you can unlock the bike and then it can be started again. That means the motorcycle might still get stolen, but it will be useless for the thief. For the model year 2026, the YZ450F will be available in two color options. First, the 70s anniversary edition, which you can see here. A really stylish design, inspired by the very first 400 four-stroke bike of the modern era. You may remember, Peter Johansson rode that bike, Andrea Bartolini as well, and of course Doug Henry, a legendary victory at the Supercross in Las Vegas, and this edition is inspired by that model. That is one color option, and the bike will also continue to be available in the standard blue version. In Germany, the standard version of the motorcycle has a list price of 11,199 euros, including around 300 euros in additional costs. The limited edition costs 200 euros more. But now I have talked enough. Time to hit the track. Enjoy! A beautiful riding day has come to an end here in Lelystad, probably the only hard-packed track in the Netherlands. Perfectly tilled track conditions, well watered, in optimal shape. Nice ruts developed throughout the day, and from the very first meter, I was impressed by the new 450. The handling really impressed me. It feels extremely light, and you can guide it easily, even through the tightest corners, without much effort. At one point, I even had to look at the sticker on the fender just to check if I was really on the 450 and not on the 250. That's how light it felt. And at the same time, the bike remains stable in the faster sections and is easy to control in the air. The engine character also impressed me. With a 450, I usually expect a bigger, more demanding, heavier feel. I personally do not ride 450s at home. I own smaller bikes, so I always expect a bit of time to get used to it. But with the Yamaha, I immediately felt comfortable. It is really easy to handle. So the engineers' goal of creating controllable power, they absolutely achieved it, both with the chassis and with the engine. Given the track conditions here, not super fast, not super wide, the recommendation was to use the softer mapping. I started out with the standard mapping, then later switched to the softer one. And I have to say, that was definitely a great help today. It did not feel slower, it just delivered the power more smoothly and predictably. You could still ride very fast, but in a more energy-saving way. Both mappings worked well for me. And with the smartphone app, you can load even more mappings. There are predefined ones, and in the advanced mode, you can also experiment yourself, with ignition timing, fuel amounts and more. I was also impressed with the bodywork. I am quite tall, 1.87 m, but I felt very comfortable, could move around easily, and was very pleased with how slim the 450 Yamaha has become at the front. At tank height, I would say it is no wider than my Yamaha two-stroke machine. I remember 10 or 15 years ago when the engine was first reversed, the front was much wider. But now it is very compact. The seat cover is also really well done. When accelerating, it almost pulled my pants off in the back. That's how much grip it offers. And at the same time, I could still move forward easily in tight corners and slide up the seat when needed. I also tried out the electronic rider aids, like the launch control. Starting worked really well. The KYB suspension also impressed me. I have always felt comfortable with KYB over the past years and decades, and the new development did not make things worse. On the contrary, I think you now get a bit more traction and even better feedback from the track, so you can react more precisely. The bike felt very stable and also very balanced in the long ruts. For me, it was easy to hold the line and keep the balance. That is, of course, a combination of chassis and suspension, and here it just works perfectly. Another really cool thing is that you can make all adjustments without tools. You can simply turn the clicks on the fork and also on the shock absorber by hand. That makes it easy if, as a rider, you need to quickly change something right there on the track. You don't have to ride back to the paddock, grab a screwdriver, or head to the box. All in all, I would say you cannot go wrong if you are interested in the new Yamaha 450. Of course, the best option is always to take a test ride, but honestly, even if you bought it blindly, you would not go wrong. After the first 3, 4 or 5 fast laps, I already caught myself thinking, what price could I get for this bike? And that is always a good sign. When, as a tester, I am already so impressed that I would love to put such a bike straight into my own garage. So I hope you enjoyed this video and that you got enough information. If anything is missing, or if you want to know more, just write it in the comments, and we will see each other next time. Have a good day!